Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host, as always, Jeff Stormer, and this week on the show, I am joined by Andrew Sherman for a game of The Long Shift. Andrew is not only one of my dearest friends in the world, he is a podcaster on the Moonshot Podcast Network. He is one of the hosts of the ARGonauts, an ARG review podcast with fellow friend of the show and Batman Bump in the Night co-host Marn. He is also one of the hosts of the Podcast Minds, There But For the Grace of Pod Go We, one of my actual favorite podcasts of all time with my dear friend Riley Hopkins. He also hosted Mild Mannered, a podcast, one of the most important podcasts of our time, where he watched and talked about MILF Manor with his actual mom. And perhaps most importantly, at the time of this episode release on May 20th, he and I are going to be taking part this weekend in Moontropolis, our annual charity stream raising money for advocates for trans equality, which you can find more information about at moonshot.move. As the Moonshot Network does every Memorial Day weekend, we are streaming all weekend a whole variety of game shows, fun, virtual events, all to raise money for a wonderful cause. There is going to be trivia, game shows, weird little game changer experiments, and I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic Speed Run, which I'll talk about on the episode and is a weird concept that I'm excited to roll out. A full table read of Moonstruck, Psychic Damage, Tetris, and more. You can find more information in the show notes or head over to moonshot.mov all Memorial Day weekend 2026 to check out the show, donate, and raise some money for a good cause. The Long Shift, which we've played before on the show by dear friend Caro Assertion, is a game of close encounters at an interstellar truck stop. It is a sci-fi slice-of-life role-playing game about aliens at a galactic truck stop and the various oddball adventures that they have throughout the workday. It is a wonderful little pick-up-and-play game that is easy to kind of dive in and goof around and explore and build some really beautiful scenes. We had such a wonderful time playing it. I really hope that you're going to enjoy listening to the game. You can find more information about The Long Shift at cexcursion.is.io or check the show notes for more information. And with all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me.
Thanks, future me. I am so excited. Today I am sitting down with, hold on, I have not checked my notes on who I am sitting to. Andrew Sherman. Well, that can't be right.
It's
Damn it.
me, enemy of the pod. It feels weird doing that here because you have a dedicated enemy of the pod for this show. I feel like you're the enemy of the podcast minds. I don't think I'm the enemy of Party of One.
That's actually a really good point. I'm glad that we're breaking this down and kind of like clarifying the lore placements, you know?
To me, this is when Bowser goes and does go-karting, right? Like,
sure.
I don't think that we're enemies here. Here, we simply drive cars and hit tennis balls.
Yeah, that feels right. That feels good. I'm glad that you've noticed that I do all of my podcast recording behind the wheel of a go-kart. It's the only place that I really feel safe being on mic.
I think that podcasting while driving is like the next frontier.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, because I have so many thoughts on this topic. Andrew, thank you so much for coming on Party of One. I'm thrilled to have you today.
It's a genuine pleasure. I'm so excited to be here.
Talk to me at the top of the episode. Before we talk about the game that we are playing, let our lovely listeners at home know about what you got going on you want them to know about.
Oh, what do I have going on? I have recently come out of a content sabbatical, I think is kind of the easiest way to put it. And I'm back in the saddle on all of my old shows and starting a bunch of new stuff. So to quickly go over myself. Hi, I'm Andrew. I am the head honcho of the Moonshot Network, I think is the official title. We try not to have those, but I run the Moonshot Podcast Network, which is currently getting ready for our yearly May charity stream. This year we're doing Moontropolis, the city on the moon. It's a live stream starting on Friday, May 22nd to raise money for advocates for trans equality. We're doing a 3-day charity stream, which is super exciting, and we've got a lot of really cool stuff planned for it over at moonshot.move. Aside from that, though, if you're thinking, well, why do I care about Moonshot? You should care about me personally. I'm Andrew. I am the co-host of the ARGonauts podcast, a podcast about alternate reality games that I host with my friend Marn, who's been on the show. I host the Podcast Minds, There But For the Grace of Pod Go We, with my friend Riley, also another friend of the show who's been on multiple times. And very soon, I'm going to be hosting an actual play show on the podcast, or an actual play show on the Moonshot Network. Something I told myself I would never do, yet here I am playing cards with people on microphone for the internet. Ew.
We all become what we hate in time. I get it. We all eventually are pushed in that direction.
eventually. But yeah, that's kind of the long and short of me as a content creator. I got a couple podcasts. Oh, I got some old podcasts. My mom and I watched MILF Manor and did a recap show of it called Mild Mannered. If you like bad reality television show or have weird mom feelings, that's a good one for you.
I,
I think
Here's the thing. I was all excited to be like, Mild Mannered is one of the greatest podcasts ever created. And then you hit me with that last line. And I was like, man, I don't love that you continue to be correct, but fuck. I, I, I gotta say, I'm so, while we are sitting on mic and actually just discussing this, I'm so excited for Moontropolis. Like, looking at the stuff that we have lined up, this is Jeff both plugging the thing that he is going to be a part of all weekend, but also just really genuinely like feeling a moment of, hey, we put together a sick fucking stream like we do every single year, and all of the things on here. We always say nobody does it like Moonshot, and I think that we've put together a lineup this year that I think stands among our best.
Yeah, we've got a lot of really cool stuff that I'm excited for. If you like Caro Assertion, I don't know if you might if you click on this episode, but they did that wonderful game Street Magic that you all are going to speed run somehow. I'm not sure how that works exactly.
So I will give our listeners here an exclusive breakdown of what we have planned. I have organized a group of people that are going to join me on stream, and we are going to build a city as quickly as humanly possible. I have a series of prompts that I'm going to put in front of them, and they're going to take those prompts and they're going to run full speed at trying to make as many neighborhoods of a city as they can in a 60-minute block. And the trick is that I have also assembled a second secret group that is doing a time trial that they have to beat. And I think
incredible.
I'm very, very, very fucking proud of this. We are recording the speed run on Thursday. At the time of this, by the time you hear this episode, I will have the speed run in my hands so that when I sit down on stream, I can say this lineup of top secret actual play aficionados accomplished 9 neighborhoods or whatever, and your goal is to get to 10. I think what happens every year when we put out the call for segments for the May stream is that I sit down and I go, what's the stupidest thing that I could throw at the wall and find something that makes me laugh? And every year I find one pitch that I'm like, this is my baby. And I feel so thrilled about it. And this year, like when we landed on the topic of Moontropolis, I sat down and I said, all right, what's a funny thing to do with a city? Oh, there's this game about making a city. What if we did this but fast?
I'm bummed out this year because due to some like personal scheduling stuff, we had some family stuff that we thought was going to get in the way of being on the stream. And so I said, you know what? I will happily bow out. I will be in the background. You all do this. I'll still help plan. And then we like scheduled everything and everyone, and then the day after we scheduled everyone, my family was like, actually we're good, you're free that weekend, which is great and feels good. But I will be behind the scenes running the stream the whole time, and I like to think that it's kind of like Sex and the City, where I am the spirit of Moontropolis, and kind of, you know, the city's kind of like its own character.
It's kind of its own character. Yeah, I'm so
kind of like its own character that informs the narrative.
Finally assess that.
Yeah, I think that I'm gonna be like that for the stream. Am I on each block? No, but am I on each block? Yeah,
that's magic. That's the magic of New York City.
I could turn on a microphone at any time, which is as much of a threat as it sounds like.
So, speaking of dear friend of the show, Caro Assertion, we have a game here that we are playing today. We are sitting down to play The Long Shift. It is one of my actual favorite games in the world. It is close encounters at an interstellar truck stop. We are going to make some aliens. We are going to explore a day in the life of the infamous Mari's 26-hour cosmic. 1 part gas station, 1 part diner, 1 part truck stop, 1 part cafe, all assembled from old spaceships and satellites and tethered to a hunk of rock, a barnacle that refuses to die. I'm going to ask you this. What are you excited about? What are you bringing to the table? What's on your mind as we're sitting down to play?
I feel like a poser when I say this. I love diners. I love the concept of diners. I wish I lived somewhere that I could like do diner culture. That sounds a little silly, but I've lived in like suburbs all my life. And so I've never lived in a place where I can just kind of crash at the 24-hour diner, it feels like, and just kind of like sit there. I used to go to, Denny's after old theater productions and things like that, but not I've never been to like I've never had not that I've never been to, and I've never had like a greasy spoon to call my place, you know?
Sure,
Um
100%.
I love the idea of like I love the contrast. It's either got to be like in a walkable place where you can just walk to the diner, or it's just like your rest stop on the road trip where you just pull off to the side and nothing's around for 2 miles, but you just got like Frank's off the side of the road. I love that contrast, and it's a shame that I've lived in a suburb my whole life where I've always been too drivable to really feel like a diner is my best option anytime I want to go out.
I love hearing this, especially knowing that I come from the opposite. I don't live in a place anymore where diners are like easily reachable. Like there are some are scattered around the city, but I grew up in New Jersey, the diner capital of the world, more diners per square mile than anywhere else on earth. I don't know if that's still true, but that's a factoid that was true when I was a teenager, and I will hold on to that for the rest of my goddamn life. And so like being having all like I have diners in a similarly special place in my heart for that exact reason. A crucial question for you before we make our characters and build out our world. What is your like if you visualize it in your mind, you are at a diner. Imagine the things that would be a present on a greasy spoon menu. What is at this
Sure.
moment your diner order?
So I um living in Michigan where I do, um I feel like we're very lucky that um there is a lot of Middle Eastern and Arabic culture
Sure.
that comes into our diners, as well as like Mediterranean as a whole. Um and so unlike a lot of other diners, I feel like everyone talks about, I mean, we've got a diner, and one of the weird things about it is that you can get Greek food off of it. You can get yourself a gyro.
Yeah, sure.
We can get kebab stuff at a diner.
That I fuck. Fuck.
You can get like diner shawarma
Diner shawarma
is
really
you
like
can't go wrong there. I'm a big give me the gyro, give me shawarma, give me the meats that aren't just a burger is really just kind of the long and short of it. I'm never
sure.
going to be a hot dog guy, maybe a chili dog, but like it's got to be really in the moment. Give me the obscure meat, give me a cheese fry, maybe chili cheese fry. I got to see your chili before I say it. And give me a milkshake.
I deeply respect this. I see it. That is a powerful answer. I I can't the thing with me is that like no matter the time of day, I can't imagine not getting breakfast at a diner. Like breakfast and diner is so intrinsically connected to me in my like heart, in my mind that when
Hmm.
I think about a diner, it's immediately I am going, French toast or eggs or if they've got either a cream chip beef or a sausage gravy. Like whatever the breakfasty item, the breakfastiest item on the menu is, that's what I'm chasing after. But also I'm pairing it with a Coca-Cola because I know myself and I know the kind of trash that I am.
Can I, now that I've like given a good pitch for the podcast network and my other shows, can I say something to alienate the audience so that they'll
Yes, please.
never follow me? I'm kind of off of breakfast food.
Sure. Okay. Say
I
more about this.
I I don't know how much more there is to say. I feel like I used to be in a similar boat to you, and like where you could feel like, hey, breakfast for dinner, like that's a great meal. And part of the crew that like the iconic quote from Parks and Rec, the like people, why would anyone eat stuff that isn't breakfast food kind of deal.
Sure.
I I think that I've come out the other side of that, where I do feel like when I'm at a diner, if it's brunch and I'm looking at the brunch menu, I don't have a pull toward the breakfast side anymore. It is all
Mm.
lunch for me. I want your sandwich. I want your nicer plate. I don't just want a guy to cook me eggs all the time.
I can see it. I see it. I see it. I respect it. I I think for me, a lot of times the breakfast food is the safer option. You know what I mean? Like, I
Mhm.
know that the eggs are going to be pretty good if I go to a place. I know that I'm going to have like a, but then also at the same time, I'm getting the weirdest breakfast shit that I can get. So I don't even know if that's necessarily a thing that I could hold on to as a rationale. I
I
don't
will
know that.
say, no matter time of day, give me a coffee. I don't care if
Sure.
it's sludge. I'm gonna ask for decaf. You might not have decaf. That's fine. I'm not gonna notice. I'm sure that it all comes out of the same pot eventually, but I will always, no matter what, give me a coffee when I go to the diner.
That's me. That's me and like a soda, which will in fact ruin the next 12 hours of my life. Or especially if it's any time past 2 p.m. I'm now at the age where that soda will ruin the rest of the next 24 hours. But I'm not gonna turn it down at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, our 30s are weird. It's weird being there.
It
I'm
is.
I'm so thankful that I have ADD that's like kind of medicated. It's like half covered by some of my other meds, but it means I can get away with caffeine being my medication of choice to self-medicate it. So I'm not super affected, but
Sure.
damn if I don't want a soda at 7 p.m. and know
I
that I can't
I
have it.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Fuck. I mean, I truly it is 7:24 at the time of this recording, and I'm like, man, a Pepsi would be great right now. Uh
Drinking a water like a chump.
I know. All right, let's make some characters.
Sure.
So we're gonna making a character. We're each going to create a player character who works at Mari's. They should have a name and pronouns, two different skills, and three character traits. There are some prompts on the various tables in the book. Would you like? Do you have any ideas? Any thoughts? Do you want to draw some cards and see where you land? What are you thinking?
You know what? I'm good to draw some cards.
All right, I'm gonna give you a skill. And we'll see where we land. We've got a skills table where ace through seven are things at the restaurant, and eight through king are various other skill sets. Uh, Andrew, talk to me about the dishwasher at Mari's.
Oh, do you mean the person or do you mean the machine? Because either way, both are kind of broken in weird ways.
Uh, Here's this true story. Last time I played this, those answers were the same answer, and I was a series of tentacles that I was sort of a tentacle thing that occupied the dishwasher and then just like brought plates out to people, and it was one of the great characters of my life. So talk to me. Let it go where it goes. Let me give you a character prompt and see where it goes with you. We've got the three of spades. Talk to me. Connect it to a handheld radio.
Handheld radio. Um I think that the dishwasher here at sorry, what's the name of the place?
Mari's 26-hour cosmic.
Right, okay. I don't want to be scrolling around, so I'm going to write it down. Um okay. I think that the dishwasher at Mari's 26-hour cosmic, I think that you can talk about if Mari is still around. I think that for all intents and purposes, the dishwasher came with the place.
Mm,
Um, he is a little old alien, not necessarily a Yoda type, but a he more wrinkles than smooth. I think that he is an older alien who not to talk to him when his radio is going. He has a little clip on radio that clips onto his lapel that is constantly playing some kind of intergalactic sport. I think people have tried to overhear and listen. I don't think that they know the rules that are being talked about. I don't think that some of them say, well, the language sounds normal. I recognize the language. None of those words sound right. And he does not want to be bothered while the game is on, but he is there every day listening to the game, washing dishes. Few people have talked to him and he is just fine with that.
I like this. I like this a lot. I flipped a couple cards, and I have got I flipped the chef at the restaurant. And you saying that about Mari, I think I'm gonna do a thing here that I've never done in a game of the long shift before. I think I am going to play Mari. But also I flipped a character prompt here that I'm gonna throw in a direction because I flipped the prompt Night Owl. I think that she's an owl person. I think that she's a Muppet, sort of a Muppet owl Henson creation, who is also the chef slash owner of this cosmic truck stop.
Okay.
I think that's
Is
the
she
vibe.
is she here 26 hours a day?
I think to hear her tell it, yes. Uh, I think to hear her tell it, yes, and I think it is depending on the time of day and depending on the day that she's had, she will say the words, "Yeah, you know me, I'm behind the grill 26 hours a day. That's why we call it the 26-hour cosmic." She will either say that as a joke or as a painfully serious like fact. It will either be she's saying it to laugh and to raise spirits, or she is just kind of grumbling that exact same sentence under her breath, and you kind of have to suss it out by inflection.
Sure.
What is my other character prompt here? The Queen of Diamonds. Uh Flowery vocabulary is very funny. Flowery vocabulary. Uh I think what it is, I think I'm going to take the idea that she is the chef, the owner, she's always around. Flowery vocabulary, specifically, uh she's got to hear her tell it, she's got an eye for faces, and she will tell you a fun, like, it's a constant, she will relate something that you said back to something else or back to someone else that she's met and tell you one random fun fact about that person every single time. And you're and it's that sense of when your mom tells you something that happened to one of her friends and you go, I don't know who that is. I'm not going to retain that name. And you seem really confident that I remember who this person is you're telling me about.
Yeah, you know Deborah.
Yeah,
Of course you remember Deborah. You tell a story about her every time I come to visit.
of course I remember Deborah. And then she'll go, it's a shame what happened to her husband. And she doesn't elaborate on that. And you just kind of have to go, oh, fuck, what happened to Deborah's husband? Oh, fuck.
Clicking through the Rolodex, like, what was the story? Hold on.
That's Mari. That's I think Mari. That's the vibe. Do we have a name for your character?
Oh, I think that we can go. I like Whist. Is here on
Whist
the
is
character
good.
creation table. I like Whist.
Whist is really good. And then as we go, we can create new characters who are going to be the people that are passing through, and the various other things. We'll kind of set these things up as we go. So now that we got our characters, we're going to play through a couple rounds. Each round consists of multiple scenes. We'll start with a guiding star scene in which we all participate. One player will decide a question, a theme, an idea. There are some prompts to kind of help us pull on that. And then we're going to lead into a series of visitor scenes. During each, a new traveler or passerby will visit the truck stop. One player will embody that while the other player will play their PC. And then, once we've both set up that scene, we'll play through a resolution scene. We'll probably do 2 or 3 guiding star scenes, depending on how long things run. But we're going to bounce around. And then I think we'll just kind of like see where the day at the diner takes us. So I'm going to draw a card for our first guiding star scene. And I have drawn a 4. Recreation and leisure. What? Tying into the theme of recreation and leisure, is there something about the diner as we've kind of set up, this idea that it's out in the middle of nowhere. It is a bunch of spaceships that have been stitched together. Mari, an old, slightly curmudgeonly, but very eagerly attentive chef Whist, the dishwasher that loves being left alone and loves listening to the game. What game? We don't know. What topic, theme, questions around like recreation and leisure are on your mind?
The thing that comes to me when I think of recreation and leisure with a diner is, um, I probably should have said this earlier in talking about diners. I used to work at a Steak and Shake, which is not a diner, but is like
In the neighborhood of a
it's
diner.
diner adjacent. It is, yeah. Um, and I know that like the nights we got slammed the hardest were just after a concert that took place.
Sure,
Um,
100%.
I was in Northern Kentucky, so if it happened in Cincinnati, everyone driving back from Kentucky, we were like the first exit that had anything open after 11. And so I think that like you're expecting there to be an easy night, but it turns out Kenny Chesney came and performed. I There's something I think here about intergalactic Kenny Chesney has just wrapped up a concert over at the Galactic Dive, and we are the first nebula past that still has something available on a single tube of space gas.
I like that. I love that. That is such a good pitch. I'm so excited. Um, I I think I know. I think I know exactly how I want the scene to kind of be set up, or rather, like the inside. How maybe it's. Here's the pitch for you. I think like it is. This is a little bit informed by my experience eating at restaurants around conventions, which is uh the experience of like setting your hand on the ground and like putting a finger in the air and going like, oh no, it begins, which is
Mhm.
as we are in the midst of like a very slow day at the diner, we see two people in like matching rainbow glow jewelry or like bracelets, glasses, things like that, like
Mhm.
whatever this weird techno space band is. We see that and there's just like an overwhelming sense of like, well, it's weird that two different tables have people that are dressed like, oh fuck.
Yeah, no, I'm getting flashbacks. Yes, yeah, you get one group that comes in and you go, wow, they like a music artist, and then a second group comes in wearing the same t-shirts, and you go, oh fuck, someone start prepping milkshakes.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Where is Whist when this like where is Whist when this starts? When we see the second like table get sat, where is Whist? What is Whist up to?
I think it's the end of a day. I think that like it should have been easy at this point, and I think that he has like, when you get a work day where like I have 30 minutes of work left and an hour left of work. I could do this in the first 30 minutes and then have the rest of my day to chill, or I can just kind of bum around for 30 minutes and then just get it done. I think that I'm in that second boat where I think Wist has just been kind of chilling out, listening a little bit more intently to the thing, maybe grazing a couple of space carrots from the spacewalk in, and then I just hear the Will, it's one of them, and go, ooh, fuck. As I start to like catch up on the last few pieces of dishwasher or dishes that need to be washed so that I can like hit the rush when those hit in about 12 minutes, and B, have plates ready to go for them when they need them in about 7.
And I think Mari, uh, when it gets particularly slow, I think I think Mari kind of lives for when it's slow. Like I think that's part of owning this particular restaurant, this particular gas station, this particular location, this particular establishment is that you kind of live for when it's slow and when there are two people in the room. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's where Mari thrives. And I think uh literally flitting because I did say that she is an owl and sort of like doing the like flutter over across the room to one table to the other, doing like bartender shit. So like getting like pouring drinks, but also doing coin tricks and lighting cigarettes and things, like, is clearly like this is this is when she would happily say, I'm here 26 hours a day because I get to entertain like two people. And then that second table shit sits down and she yells back like, "Yep, it's gonna be one." And she kind of like she like looks at their neon glasses, looks at all of their matching gear, and like quietly flutters back to the grill where I'm gonna flip some cards here to get a picture of who the other chef on duty is.
Mm-hmm.
We have uh the two cards that I flipped were a pocket flask and a guitar.
I worked with that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I've known variations of that man my entire life.
Yep.
Uh Scoot is, like flipping kind of the same burger again and again and again, which is hey, if it looks like you're working, I'm not going to press you about not working. So fuck it. I think I like push him out of the way to be like, hold on, we got to get into it. Everybody crack your knuckles, buckle down. Storm's coming.
I think Wist is going through. I think he's got like a dish tray. I think I said he's a small old man. I think he's small enough that he like puts the dish tray on his head to go through and like toss plates up into it for the purposes. I think he's got a weirdly flat head, so it works for him.
That's great. Great. Good sci-fi energy. And I think like sure enough, like as you put the tray on your head, like I've had this happen to me once. Where I've had the TV experience one time where you walk into a room and then you walk out of that room and you walk into the room and it is as though you have transported into a parallel universe. I have had the Community Troy pizza gif happen to me at a party that my brother was throwing, where I walked outside, I walked back inside, and a fight had broken out. And like it was a true clear moment of like, oh, I've passed the threshold.
Right.
And I think that is what has happened. We see the swinging door when Mari comes in and mans the grill. Wist puts the tray on his head. We see the swinging door like swing open a second time, and we're in the shit. Like it is now hopping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of those
How they all got
saloon
in so
doors
quick,
that
who can
swings
say?
back and forth. Every time it swings, another guest is sat down.
Yeah, it's just well, it's about what to be expected.
Yeah, I think in my experience, our least experienced servers on duty, because we brought her in because we wanted her to like get experience on a slow Wednesday night.
Today's the day we were gonna teach her like the ringing up system and be like,
Yeah,
we're gonna really deep dive you on the register. Like we're gonna walk you through all of the different touchpad options. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna have some time to like really. And now it's, hey, that's gonna get pushed till Wednesday. I'm so sorry.
yeah. The touchpad was built for tentacles, so I know you need extra time with it, since you've got knuckles, but you'll pick it up. Once you get the hang of it, you're fine. But not today.
Not today. God, I am also having food service flashbacks. I'm glad this is the energy we're bringing to the episode.
Yeah, I had this experience on not to make the show political, but if you remember, Fox News did what was it? Chick-fil-A Appreciation Day. Once they announced it. But they didn't tell Chick-fil-A that. So Chick-fil-A closed at 10 and we were the only thing still open. So everyone just came to us instead. And would you believe that the crew that likes to celebrate Chick-fil-A Appreciation Day doesn't tip very well?
I'm shocked. I'm blown away at this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First visitor scene. Our starting location. We are at the coffee and breakfast counter. A visitor has come in. We'll come up with some character prompts. The time. It is Andrew, I'm very excited for you to know that these scenes are happening. This scene is happening at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, good. Same day, different day. What are we doing?
I think same day. I think we've been in it for a minute. I think that part of it was, if we're starting at 2 a.m., I think that part of it is we thought that this was a late night concert. This was an after hours DJ set or something where like it is explicitly we're going to go until this venue closes and then we're going to dump out to the 26-hour diner.
Yeah.
And we are at the coffee counter. We are at the breakfast counter. Would you like to play whist or would you like to play a visitor?
I would love to turn playing a visitor.
All right. Well, then I'm going to give you a couple prompts. I'm going to draw 3 cards here. We have the Queen of Spades. This person has a scar or a burn, weathered jeans, and a morose personality. What comes to mind for the visitor what kind of visitor does that conjure in your head?
I think that, to me, this is the bouncer who like just got done working security for that venue show and thought, I'm going to go get a drink, or I'm going to go get like a coffee. And then it turns out that he had to like bring work with him because everyone else is here too.
Incredible. What is unfolding I think like the diner's in chaos.
Yeah.
What do you think? Talk to me. Set the scene. Like, what is unfolding as this bouncer is getting his food, is getting his coffee, as I think Mari is flitting around from table to table, still trying, and I think like getting visibly spread out like butter on toast, about trying to still be fun showman, Mari, for the increasing number of people that are just bringing an energy that she is not able to match.
Yeah, I think that I pulled in, asked for a table of 1. I think that Mari was like, yeah, let me get right on that. I think that like in a room full of places, let me find a spot to stick 1 person is kind of your last thing you want to do. I think that I've been wedged in at a table. I think that like everyone around me cares very deeply about this techno group. Everyone here is about 20 years younger than me. I think that like I feel out of place. I'm annoyed that I have to put up with like bringing my work home with me. And I think that I'm also like, you ever get in that spot where you're like, I feel like I could do something here, or like I could take control of something here, but it's definitely not my job to do that. And so I can't start bussing tables or whatever because I don't work at the restaurant. But like, damn, if it wouldn't make it easier for everyone involved if someone cleaned up the table next to us, right?
Yeah.
I think he has that energy of like, someone's got to seat the table. Someone's got to seat the door. It's not going to be me. I don't work here. I'm off the clock. But like, someone should seat the door. People start looking agitated. I think that he's kind of like getting that secondhand stress built up. And as that's happening, I think that like some other patron with like 6 tentacle legs goes past and like knocks a water off of a tray directly onto him. I think it's one of those events that like an entire room goes quiet as this guy just gets like drenched in Nuka-Cola.
Oh, really good. Really, really good prompt for Jeff to have a panic attack over. Can I tell you real quick that this has been me at least one time. I went to MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art in New York, and we had lunch at the cafe, like the inn, and it was busy and it was crowded, and somebody bumped into the waiter that was walking by, and I got an entire glass of Coke spilled directly onto my head.
Oh,
So I know where this guy's at, is what I'm trying to say.
All right, well, should we switch roles? It sounds like you know what you're doing.
I think Mari, like there is an on the dime switch. I think that Mari goes into service mode immediately and is there with a rag and an oh my god, I'm so sorry. I cannot believe. And I think that there's like a moment where she starts to go in on like customer service speak of like it being like, I'm so sorry, we're gonna comp your meal, etc. Like doing all the things, and then she just gets like a long look at this guy and just kind of like drops her eyes a little, drops her posture a little bit, and just goes, "Bill is on me. I'm so sorry. It has been one of those fucking nights."
Yeah, I think that I think this guy is like, I don't know. I think this guy's like big rhino man. Like he's got
Mhm.
like, I think that he is, this looks like a guy that like could destroy this bar if he really like if he really wanted to, you know? Um, and I think that he like kind of stands up, but in less of a like threatening way, more of in a like, I gotta assess the damage and like stand up so I'm not pooling soda in my lap. I think he's wiping off too. I think he's angry and he's huffing and muttering something that probably means something in a language we don't speak, but like I'm not gonna translate it if you're not. And
Sometimes
I
it's
think that,
better to leave it untranslated.
yeah, I think that he kind of steps up. I think that he like meets your eyes, and I do think that we are both like two of the oldest people in this room with a food service. I think you're in food service. I'm in security service. I don't know what you'd call a bouncer necessarily, but that
Event
is
security.
event security. It is its own form of customer service where you're delivering safety.
I
I
was
think
going to
that
say
he meets
ongoing
your
humiliation, but I think those are one and the same.
I think that he meets your eyes and he's like, yeah, it is one of those fucking nights, huh?
And she like looks around and goes, kind of like, I think, like gives a smile and kind of a flutter of a wing to the room to kind of like, and we kind of hear that chatter come back, and she just gives a, if they're like this relaxing, how fucking bad were they when they were partying?
You know the worst part? The music's not even good anymore.
I It's louder. I don't know if I'm just older, if it's just got, or if it's gotten louder, but it's certainly louder.
Oh yeah, I check this, and I think he like pulls a thing back and shows that like one of his ears has been replaced by a cybernetic ear, and he's like, I did this on purpose, so I didn't have to listen.
This one, I like. This one I like. And she kind of gestures towards the diner staple of the rotating pie station, dessert station. Sweet Tooth.
Not one for me, but make sure that kid gets an extra drink. It's not their fault they knocked it over. Well, it is their fault, but you know, no use crying over spilled cola.
Uh, it's rare that we get one of the decent ones left running around, especially on a night like tonight. I'm not gonna forget this. And like I think like as she's saying that, we see the tray. We just see the tray, right? We just see the tray come over the tips of the tables with a stack of towels on it that scurries over, with like ample paper towels to kind of dry him off. And I think that's the end of our scene.
Hell yeah.
About an hour later, we see. Let's see. What do I got here? Great, 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 excellent. Okay, good. This is a character I built this character in my head. I know exactly who they are and what they do. Uh, I think it's not calmed down. It's still busy. It's still absurdly busy. but the energy has died down. The post concert energy has changed into a we've been sitting around the diner for an hour energy,
Mhm.
which is still chaotic but at least calmer.
Yeah, there's always that moment of like every table has their food for the most part,
Mhm.
and like it's kind of like the eye in the storm. Like at some point we're gonna have to do all of the dish work and like start clearing everything up. But like everyone is sat, everyone is eating. We might have to do like a refill on drinks or whatever, but like yeah, all the orders are put in, all the most of the food has been run. Like, yeah, there's always that moment where you're just like, okay, I can breathe again after 40 minutes.
And the bell rings, the automated door kind of gives that like puff of ozone and slides open, and like humming to himself, we have wearing uh like it's got to be the the jackets that they wore in Star Trek Enterprise, where they're like the sort of the Starfleet uniforms, but sort of a jacket at the same time. It's one of those, but it's open,
Mm-hmm.
and a T-shirt underneath it, and wearing the same pair of neon sunglasses as everyone else. Slides in, and I think brushes past Whist and grabs a full glass of soda off of Whist's tray that was en route to another table, just kind of whispering, "Ah, you don't get these kind of places in the city. This is where this is what it's all about." Where am I gonna say? At the bar.
Oh, just one tonight.
Yeah, just one. Wherever you got a seat is fine. I'm just, I'm winding down after work. We had a great show. We had a great event. And I'm just trying to, celebrate with my people. And he kind of like gestures. And like, you can tell by looking at the way that the crowd has responded when he says my people that this is not one of the performers that was on stage, because nobody has a goddamn idea who this man is.
I think Wish just says like, okay, you want the bar or do you want a table?
Bar's great. Put me among the people. I'm looking to soak up the energy after the most electric night that we've had in weeks.
Great. Right there.
And he like, I think there's this moment where he like kind of stops and like pauses, as though thinking you were going to say, like thinking you were going to like ask follow-up questions, and when you start to walk away, just kind of gives you a, yeah, I run the venue, so like I'm booking events there year round, and so like this one, we were pretty sure it was going to be a hit, but this one was a real hit.
Oh, good. Good concert.
Great concert. Honestly, great kids, really nice guys. He was already not seated, but now he is now walking next to you as you are going from table to table.
Oh, here. I think I grabbed two like refills off of him and I go, if you're walking table 14, and I point to one over on the side. They go, it sounds like you know service.
Uh, d- um, sure. 14, 14.
That one.
Oh, got it. He slides over, and like you can see on the look of like he immediately slides over, and the only thing that I can describe is he does what he thinks is the impression of a waiter from someone that has gotten the picture from TV, where like does the Kramer slide a little bit of like sliding over to them, putting the things in front of them and being like, how are we doing? Do we need anything else? Or are we just having the best night? And there's just a, yeah, we're good. Thank you.
Grab the empties.
Empties. I'm gonna grab these, and we will be right back with make sure everything looks good. Let me know if those drinks taste okay. Did you? I'm gonna. Okay. I think has like stumbles back behind the swinging door, and you just hear owl squawking, and then like stumbles back out the other way. Okay. Do not go into the kitchen. Sure. I'm
Yes.
just gonna.
Do you need a menu?
Yes. Menu would be great. Thank you. I'm just gonna grab a seat here at the bar.
Yeah. I think that I think this is where I call back to like our server, who I don't think we've established yet, but I think that she is like, I think like we don't see them out here often. I think our server is just human,
Sure.
just a very normal human being.
She's the human character from Farscape.
Yes.
The one non-Muppet.
Yeah, basically. I think that I think that she's just like, I think that we have your very like standard, calls everyone sweetie, does all this. She's a little out of place in a future place. She has a little trouble running the computers and running the like cash register, but like I think that she also yells things back to the staff, and like she does the classic, you ask for like 2 eggs sunny side up or whatever. She's like, we got 2 early cluckers or something. Like I think that she is your stereotypical kind of lady that calls everybody sweetie, and that makes her stand out entirely in a restaurant full of gleeps and zoops.
And also tired curmudgeons. Let's be real. Like it's an
Yes.
energy that stands out in a space where like Mari tries. I think Mari tries to recapture that energy, but I think that it is often visible that it is an act, and that like if there are more than 3 people in the room, that she has lost that spark.
Yeah. I think this is Marina.
Marina's great. And I think our event promoter, somewhere between a Star Trek Cardassian with the gray skin and the ridges on the forehead, and just straight up Dracula. I think he's got the fangs and has got the widow's peak. But with the neon sunglasses on, like his fully like is just fully like now the luster of I am a big shot event promoter has been shattered, and he is completely flustered and lost. And I think that the thing that we see is what did we say the waitress's name was?
Marina.
Marina like walks over and is like, well, somebody looks like they're having a great night, and then like Whist, you just see it on a dime. The smile is back, and like, yeah, we had a great event, great group of kids. Honestly, like, a lot of these new musicians, they're coming up with a sense of respect, and you're just like, oh, okay, these two are going to feed each other on this energy for the rest of the night.
And that's perfectly fine because I don't have to. I do wanna you were talking about having the like head ridges and stuff and also the widow's peak of a Dracula. I am picturing like, what if there's an alien that is like, they have kind of a wrinkled head and like those ridges, but then as they go balding, they lose that. So they get the like smooth on top, and it shows that they're losing hair, quote unquote.
That's great. I
like
actually
the alien equivalent, of the Green Goblin, the Norman Osborn hair. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. Very, very good. All right, so now we do our resolution scene. This is just a chance to reflect once again on the guiding star of the round, tie it back to our PCs. This can take the form of a communal scene or a montage. We can decide whether these are two separate smaller scenes or if it's one scene with both of us. And then we kind of wrap this up, and then we'll do one more set of rounds. What does the closing beat look like in this chapter as the concert is winding down? We have seen this moment of how the bar reacts when, or how the restaurant reacts when an event lets out. What's our closing beat?
I think that there's I called it the eye of the storm earlier, when like the middle of the event before all the cleanup has to start happening. I think at the end of an event like this, you also get like, it kind of feels like after a disaster is hit, where like the customers all leave. We all take a beat, and then all we can do is start cleaning up. And I think that this is a thing where pretty regularly everyone has their role that they do, where you know, Marina serves, we got Scoot on the grill, and Whist cleans. And I think that this is a moment when like I'm in the back managing the machine, but everyone else comes back and helps. I think no one asks, nobody says anything as they do it, but I think it's just kind of a known thing that like, you go after a big surge like this, you go back and you help with all the dishes, because nobody should get hit with a full restaurant's worth of dishes right before they're supposed to clock out.
And I think that the closing beat, because I love that dearly, is we very briefly see like the doors swing, and Marina kind of looks like, oh no, this is for customer. Mari just like, no, he's good. And we see a Rhino Man put down a tray of cups and just like give a 2-fingered salute as he walks out the door. And it's like, you know, one of those fucking nights.
One of those fucking nights.
Great. Good scene. Good turn. Good sequence. Let's do one more.
I will say, at the risk of turning my guy into Dexter Jetster, I do think I've got 4 arms, 2 of which are constantly cleaning a glass.
That feels great. That feels good. That feels perfect. Okay. All right. The guiding star for the next scene, I have drawn Dreams of the Future.
Okay. I think I've got something for this.
Hit me.
I think that this is we're at another slow. I think I do think one of the things about the 24-hour cosmic is that you always kind of say like, oh, it's a slow day. I think they're all kind of slow days.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, unless it's weirdly quick, they're all just kind of slow. And I think that we're on a slow day. And I think that Whist is doing one of the things that he does the most, which is I think that he takes old plates of like food after it's been eaten off of, and I think he kind of holds them up and like spins them around and like tries to divine omens in them, like you would tea leaves at the bottom of a tea glass.
Incredible.
I think that this is a thing that he has started doing, and I think that Marina and him do it. I think that she's kind of just humoring him, but I think that they do look at plates and try to see things in the clouds, kind of a deal. I think that he's holding it up and he's like, I mean, clearly that's a space dog.
No. It's got wings. It's a bird.
Well, no, those space dogs have wings. Have you not seen a space? I don't know what. All the dogs are called space dogs, but these are the ones that are.
Well, then you got to be
from deep
specific
space.
and say that you're talking about the ones with wings.
Well, deep space terriers, they all have wings.
There you go. Then say deep space I think to Marina, he always does this. He always does. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, if he does not always do this, then please take the diner from me. I insist.
You're the weirdo here. It's not my fault you don't know what a space dog is.
Oh my god. I had a space dog for years that had fins and no wings. And you're telling me that all space dogs have wings?
No, but I'm saying when you think of a space dog, you shouldn't be thinking of a Neptunian transmitter. You should be thinking of like anything else. When I talk about Earth dogs, people don't immediately go Chihuahua. They think the gold ones that retrieve things.
You know what's weird though is I did immediately think of a chihuahua.
Well, Mari, does this look like a dog to you? I think it's a good omen.
Uh Mari, I think I think is at the grill because Scoot is crucially not at the grill and it's just like I don't got time for this. I got 27 hours of work to fit into a 26-hour day. If you say it's a good omen, Whist, you're a good employee. I trust you. We'll ride this omen out and see where the day takes us.
I I think he looks at Marina and goes, "I told you so."
All right. I love this so much. I would love to flip a visitor scene here to see the first half of a really great day at the diner. It is the day goes on. It is 8 o'clock. It is pretty early in the morning. Uh right. Oh, even better. Oh, unbelievable. Okay, so here's the scene. Here's the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Whist, talk to me about how the game is going on the radio.
Sure. Yeah.
How is the game? How are you feeling about the game at this exact moment?
I think that Whist seems annoyed. Um, I think that Marina's the only person he will answer when they ask how the game is going, because I think it's like, to him, it's like, well, of course she doesn't know what's going on. It's a space game. But he's not going to go into any real details. I think that he's just willing to be like, I mean, right now we're at the 108 and the Glebans are up by 7, but I mean, it's still anyone's nebula at this point. We can. I
At
don't
that
know.
moment, at that moment, uh, the Quasars score a triple double, tying up the game, and you hear from the far end of the bar, "Ha ha! Give him what for?"
Nebularn fans.
uh,
Marina, what'd
Quasars
that guy?
keep burning bright.
What'd that guy order?
Um. Oh, he ordered. Uh, I flipped the character prompt pretentious. Uh, gotta be an eggs Benny, right? That's gotta be my picture of. Is it an eggs Benny or is it that he ordered like a dinner dish at the diner, which is an objectively insane thing to do. Like,
Oh,
did he order the plate of spaghetti?
I, yeah. Is this a like diner lobster scenario?
Yeah.
I think that this is, like an eggs Benny. I do think that like, I think that he ordered the eggs Benedict. I think that, you know how breakfasts, you can ask like 18 different questions for serving breakfast.
100%.
That's something, when I worked, I didn't realize that I worked a breakfast shift once as Steak and Shake was pivoting to breakfast. I was normally in the late shift. And so I went up to a table and I was like, "What do you want?" And they were like, "A number 2." And I was like, "Great." And I went back and I went to the computer to put it in and it said like, "Great. What kind of toast?" And I was like, "Fuck, I don't know." And I went back and I was like, "Hey, what kind of toast?" And they gave me an answer and I went back and I put it in. And then they were like, "How do they want their eggs?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know." I didn't realize there were like 18 different sub questions that breakfast got. I think that in addition, we or offer like different kinds of eggs.
Oh, sure.
And I think that this guy is like orders the eggs that are like whatever the equivalent of like, you can get pumpernickel toast, but it'd be weird to order like the club on pumpernickel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he's getting like um the Valdivian quail eggs, which is like, I'm not sure why they're even on the menu, but we do offer them. It's weird to get them at a diner though. Like they can't be good.
Yeah, you're not like no. It's a little bit of a diner lobster situation in that it's like you can't think this is gonna be a good meal.
Right. It's the diner mimosa. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have good champagne.
Yeah, what are your expectations here? And it's like uh Voluvian quail eggs, like they're very delicate. It's one of those, if you prepare it wrong, it's not quite fugu where it'll kill you, but like if you prepare it slightly, it's a little bit of a quiche, right? Where if you prepare it slightly wrong in any number of directions, it will implode and be inedible. And so like there's just a weight of like what it takes to cook the thing.
Yeah.
And he's got this very delicately made eggs Benny in front of him.
Then yeah, I think he's ordered it, but it hasn't arrived yet. Because I want as it's being prepared right now, I think that knowing that I've got a fan of the other sports team, I think that List like goes behind the dishwasher and he like scans across a couple and he goes this one and pulls out a specific plate and then walks up to the kitchen and swaps the plates around.
Incredible. What happens when the plate comes out? I need to know.
I think that this is I don't think that there's anything on the surface. It's not like he like spat on the plate or anything like that. But I think that in conjunction with what was happening before, I think that this is just a plate that seemed like a bad omen before when he was reading it. I think that this is a plate that like looked ill-advised. And so after he washed it, he set it off to the side. And now he can give this plate to a fan of the other football team.
Can I tell you a true story that is exactly what unfolds here?
Absolutely.
My family, and I'm going to apologize to you specifically because I'm going to talk to you about a thing that I know you have talked about people talking about to you in the past, relentlessly when they find out where you live. And I apologize for that in advance, but I have to talk about it regardless.
I forget you went to Ohio State.
The Ohio State-Michigan football game is more important to my family than Thanksgiving, which happens 3 days prior.
Every time I meet people from Ohio State, they go, "Oh, you gotta hate me though, huh?
And
Since you're from Michigan." And my answer is yes, because this is the only conversation we ever have,
and
not because you're an Ohio State fan.
And I relentlessly this is a line I draw for myself of it's the equivalent of I will only say go Birds to somebody if I see them in an Eagles sweatshirt, which is to say you gotta opt in implicitly to the experience before I kayfabe at you because that's just kindness.
That has not been my experience with you. Do not lie about that.
That's also fair. No, that's true. I didn't. That's true. They're two separate things.
I've never heard you refrain from saying "Go Birds" at any given point.
You know what? That's also fair and true. And I would like to retract my lie on that one area of my life. One year, at halftime, Jen swapped my mother's commemorative Michigan pint glass without her noticing. And they went from being up by, I believe it was 14 or 20 points to losing very badly, which was my honest feeling, honest to goodness. I think magic. I think there is something to sport and superstition. And I think that is what we see here. And I think there is like, we watch the Quasars get obliterated. And I think like this guy like finishes his eggs Benny and just like leans back and it's just like I simply don't know what happened. We had all of the right players on the field. We had everyone in the right formation. And I think there's go ahead.
I think that Whist comes up. I think that he takes the plate away as without a word, like a good busboy. I think he brings it back to the dishwasher. He kind of holds it up, tilts it a little bit to the left, tilts it a little bit to the right, smiles and says, "Yeah, that's what I thought I saw," and then sprays it down and sticks it in the thing to go through the machine.
Fantastic. Great scene. Let's do another visitor scene. I'm gonna throw you some character prompts. Talk to me about, let's see. The scene is set. Okay, so it was 8 a.m., so it was the morning. It is now what is that, 14 o'clock? Is that what it is? Every time you do a scene, you draw a card and it indicates like a rough time frame. Up to the king at 1300. So it is 1300 a.m. So this is maybe a few days later. This is later on, but it is 1300 a.m. It is very late in the day.
Mhm.
And your character prompts are as follows: 8 of spades, which is a pocket flask. You've got the 9 of clubs. Whether we got all of these I'll draw some random new cards because I feel like we're drawing the same
I
cards again and
I was gonna
again.
say, is Scoot coming in on his day off?
That is also really funny though, and I think that's what I got to go with because we haven't really seen Scoot in action other than kind of us both recognizing that we know this vibe.
Yeah, I think that as Scoot works Monday to Saturday, and I think that he comes in every Sunday, and it is baffling to everyone on staff. I
Uh,
think that did you have like people that worked at your place that would then just like come in and hang out at that place when they weren't on duty?
I did, and it was confusing.
I think that Scoot does this, but then he also like anytime there's a rush, he kind of laughs at us behind the counter and it's like, "Oh man, y'all got to deal with this shit." And we're like, "Go have a family. Go do literally
Go
anything
live.
else."
Scoot has a friend with him because I drew 3 more cards. Uh, they are chatty, they are relaxed, and they are a nicknamer, which is to say that I, Jeff, hate them. Uh, so whatever Scoot is up to, there is someone else with him. Where is our scene set? Let me see. What's going on at the restaurant? Talk to me about what's going on at the restaurant. Particularly, I have drawn the starting location, the dealer's room, and the card cafe. You can dictate that as if there's an actual card cafe, if it's just some people playing cards at one of the tables. Talk to me about what's going on at the restaurant and how Scoot has gotten involved.
I think that Mari is taking like one of her 6 smoke breaks for the day. And I think that when she does, she's got like a chair set out at back with a floating table next to it. And she likes to take a smoke and play solitaire with herself.
Great. Incredible.
And I think that Scoot and Shoot have decided that they want to they're like, "Oh hell, we'll go out and take the break with Mari." And I think that she doesn't want to ruin her one good cook. This is her cook's day off, which means that the rest of us are kind of covering, but like we're not good at cooking the way that Scoot is. But she also hates the fact that like she has to deal with him on the break.
I God damn it, the man can cook a quail egg. I can't explain it. I can't. He's the only
Well, it's
person
pretty
that I've ever
easy.
known that can cook one of these fucking things.
It's pretty easy to cook a quail egg. You just gotta get a read on the sole. You know, it's just that, you know, the yolk for most eggs.
Yeah.
You just got to look at it, and it burns a certain color. That's dependent on what it was going to do in life. These quails are kind of funny. They are judged. So you just got to read it and then determine how much heat you want to give it. It's pretty easy. I try to show you.
She makes a critical, disastrous error, which is she instinctually looks at the other like when someone is truly being too much, she will instinctually look at the other person that she's with to give a look of like, get a load of this guy. Can you even believe it? But it is not until eyes have been locked that she has realized that the person that she has locked eyes with to be like, can you believe this? Has been shoot that she is now invited also into the conversation.
I think Shoot looks at her and goes, has anyone ever told you you kind of look like Space Jim from the Space Office?
She
You kind
like,
of get that look in your eye.
I get that so very often. Shoot, you have no idea.
Shoot, thought you might.
Shoot. You know, one time I met a director that worked on the Space Office, only for a couple episodes, but wonderful, wonderful guy. Couldn't tip for a son of a bitch, but a wonderful guy nonetheless.
Well, shoot, that's just space showbiz, ain't it?
You
Bunch of
know,
rich folk ain't gonna tip. That's what I always say.
you would think that, but you know who the best tipper one of the best tippers I've ever experienced? Stunt
Who's that?
people. Stunt people. I don't know if it's just that they take a fall for a living, but I met a stunt woman. Well, I say woman, sort of like a hive mind situation, which I think was how they were able to pull off all the stunts that they were doing, because it was sort of like 7 people all sharing a consciousness, and then they would sort of set up these multi-body stunts. It was all very elaborate, but honestly, and I think maybe it was because she was eating for 8 every time that she ate, but incredible tipper, incredible person. Not everybody in entertainment treats you like that. Shoot, remember that.
I think as you're saying this, Scoot says, I think Shoot and I are a hive mind sometimes. Because sometimes when I'm cooking at the grill, it feels like I can feel like what it's like to play Halo. And then I go home and Shoot hears been playing Halo all day. And he says it smells like eggs.
Universe is a strange and fascinating place.
Sometimes feels like we're thinking for two.
Yeah, that's what I would say about both of you, is that you seem to be thinking for 2.
Mm-hmm.
She's like looking over their shoulders to try to get Whist's attention, to try and see if Whist is picking up on the insults, but he's long gone.
I think Scoot says, you can put that 8 on the 7, I think.
Well, damn. You know what? You are absolutely correct.
You just got to have the brain for it.
Yeah, but now the 4 and the 3 are locked up. I'm going to move it back and see if I can swap them. Shoot, what are you seeing here?
I think he caught him mid swig and he goes, "Oh, sorry. Can you put the 7 on top of the 8?"
Actually, I can if I turn this guy sideways, then I can actually. There it is. Okay, now I got my 7. I got my other 7 unlocked. This is great. Bring this one around more often.
I think Scoot nods to himself and says, yeah, thinking for 2. And hands his flask to Shoot, and Shoot says, drinking for 2, and takes another swig.
Ari looks to her left, looks to her right, grabs the flask. We're drinking for 3. And then she shuffles the deck. Pull up a chair. It's 5-card stud.
Oh, shoot.
And I think that's the perfect end to that scene, which means we have one final resolution scene, one final moment. What is the final omen thing that happens at the end of the day?
I think that it is a very dull day, and I think that it is devolved into I think Scoot and Shoot are on one team, and I think that we got Marina and Whist on the other. I think that they're doing the like it's the space version of the paper football game where you make a paper football and then flick it between people doing the uprights. But I think that it is of whatever sport Whist is listening to, and they're flicking cards. And I think that they're playing it out. I think Marina's surprisingly good at flicking cards in a way that surprises Whist. But I think that she like is able to flick it and he tells her where to kick it so she gets extra points. I think that you put your hands in a very weird configuration to do this. It's not the uprights like you'd see in a football game. It's something very weird and complicated. But he tells her where to aim it, and it goes in each time. And then I think that, like, as we're about to call it for the day and head out, as like the morning shift might come in the next morning or whatever, I think that we all everyone takes a drink of coffee and like looks inside their mug and gets points based off of what their fortunes look like.
Incredible. All incredible. And elsewhere in the galaxy, standing in like the sci-fi equivalent of an IKEA, we see a very pretentiously dressed man look at a plate. Just go, the plate, the bastard. I'm gonna get him next time. And that is game. That's the long shift. Andrew, thank you for playing this with me. This was a joy.
I mean, I love to play it. It's been a lot of fun.
This was great. What was your favorite moment from play?
I think I always run into a mental block when I try to think too complicatedly about what to name something, and I love being able to just say space office and space gym. I think calling things space something is one of my favorite ways to tell that something's a sci-fi place.
I agree.
That night, I love the idea of a guy who examines the plates he's about to dishwash for signs of good omens. Like he's trying to find space Mary Magdalene in his plate.
Legitimately incredible character detail to throw in. Like it snapped whisked into place for me in a way that really blew me away. And I think for me, the thing that really hit was when we were mapping out the crisis that was unfolding with the concert, and just the series of the escalating series of us describing a situation and going, "Oh yeah, this is probably a nightmare," and the other one going, "Yeah, no, that happened to me. That sucks."
Yeah. Food service is just like, it's the worst thing that you'll ever do, but like, damn if I don't miss it a little bit.
Like it's so, the Warriors character building experience is often reserved for this is a thing that sucks. Like it's often just, hey, you went through a thing that is shitty. But I do think that I do think that I learned a level of like empathy and I do think I just like an ability to live in a weird situation and an ability to like go like, all right, well, shit's fucked. I guess I can manage this in a way that has I think maybe made me a better person.
I think that people talk about higher education as like, the thing about colleges is that it's where kids go to leave high school and then get out of their bubbles and meet a bunch of people that they never would have otherwise. And like see people from all walks of life and things like that. There is truth to that, and that is a true thing. But I think that food service is kind of the flip side of that, where like when you go to college, you meet a bunch of people who are college bound. When you work food service, you meet everyone.
I think that's exactly correct.
And I think that there's a truly a level of people that you meet that like, it sounds insulting to say like people you couldn't fathom otherwise, but like people who will live a life that you hadn't considered, and their life is like just as valid as yours and just as
100%.
important as yours. And if you internalize that, you end up really good. And if you don't internalize that, you can kind of end up as a pretentious guy sitting at the diner counter eating globorpulin quail eggs.
100%. And like the last thing that I will say to that point is a clarifying moment in my life, an eye-opening moment in my life was when I worked in food service and I had a conversation with somebody where I realized that like I was that person to them in the same way they were that person to me, because we were like chatting about life stuff, and I was like, yeah, I go to school, like I'm studying comic books, and they were like, what the fuck do you mean you're studying? And like we both like had this moment of like, all right, yeah, this is working for you, but you are baffling, and I could not envision my life in your position. And seeing both of us process that simultaneously is one of those moments of realizing that you exist in the world and that you are not the main character and that you are somebody else's weird fucking guy that they met today.
Yeah. And it also, I think that it is worthwhile to instill in yourself that like you may be in a spot where you are pretentious and you think that you are above another person and that you are like being that to someone. And at the end of the day, you do have to take their dish away and then wash their plate.
Yes.
And there is something humbling about that.
100%. Andrew, thank you so much for this. This was a joy. Real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
People can find me. I am at I'm on Blue Sky. I am co-host sherms.bisky.social. You'll find me there. You'll find me a lot of times streaming over at the Moonshot Twitch, even beyond our regular, or even beyond our charity event that we were talking about. I stream every Thursday and every Sunday, doing different things and random here and there. Follow Moonshot Pods if you want to get a broad schedule at me and Jeff and a bunch of other really cool, really creative people are doing in the podcasting space. And you can also find me specifically. I'm on Itch. I think that this audience particularly might give a shit about me being on Itch. You can find me. I am AC Sherman on Itch, where you can find my games Chess 2, Pizza Heroes. Very soon you will find my hack of a hack called Nasty Plots Rockets Underground. It is a Team Rocket themed Blades in the Dark supplement. What if you wanted to play Blades in the Dark in Goldenrod City during the third rise of Team Rocket?
Hell
I got a lot of fun stuff going on there. So itch.io/AC Sherman. Is that how?
I think it's acsherman.itch.io, but yeah.
There you go. I realize I have no idea how those URLs are structured, but there you go.
This was a joy. I'm absolutely beaming. Thank you so much for this. And for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me.
Thanks, past me, and thanks again to Andrew for coming onto the show. This game was magnificent. Honestly, like what I wanted from this was to sit down with one of my best friends and just like play around and goof around and like swap stories about working in food service and about like work stories, and I got everything that I wanted and then some. You can find more information about all of Andrew's work in the show notes. You can pick up your own copy of The Long Shift at cexcursion.itch.io. You can follow Andrew on social at co-host Sherms, but most importantly, if there's one thing that I want you to do after listening to this episode, it is head to moonshot.mov Memorial Day weekend 2026. Join us for the Moontropolis charity stream. Donate some money for Advocates for Trans Equality. They do a world of good things, including but not limited to pro bono name changes, which feels like such a small thing, but if you are somebody that is going through a name change process, that ability to be legally recognized as your name, as a validating identity, is such an important little thing. And to have somebody cover the cost of that so that you don't have to deal with that on your own is a beautiful thing. So come join us all weekend, hang out, watch some game shows, have some fun, donate to a good cause. You can find all of that and more at moonshot.mov Memorial Day weekend 2026. Party of One is produced and edited, as always, by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logos by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, press coverage, or about guesting on the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And I think that's all we do here. So until next time, remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And until next time, party on, everybody.